With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Hey friends, it's time for another Encore presentation of Girls Gone Hallmark. This time we are revisiting our reviews of the Holidazed series. These were originally recorded in December 2024, so you might hear a reference here and there to something around the holiday season, but in honor of the fact that Hallmark is re-airing these episodes on the Hallmark Channel for the first time, we wanted to re-share our reviews along with those drops so you can listen along as you're watching. Enjoy the show.
This is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
Look, Megan's giving me right now. And today we're reviewing Holidazed. Episode 6, The Camarena Family. Holidazed is streaming exclusively on Hallmark Plus, and we are in the middle of our marathon, counting down episode 6 of 8. Let's talk about the Camarena family.
Let's talk about how much I hated this episode.
Yeah, we will, but let's talk about the actors who portrayed these characters, starting with Bert Cardoza, who plays Kevin Camarena. He's the son. Bert has previously appeared in Falling in Love in Niagara and The Most Colorful Time of the Year for Hallmark as part of his 26 acting credits.
Noemi Gonzalez plays daughter Gaby. Noemi has 25 acting credits, including 65 episodes of The Young and the Restless and Undercover Holiday for Hallmark.
Tim Perez plays Manny Camarena. He's the dad. Tim has appeared in iconic movies like Weekend at Bernie's and Ocean's 11, as well as one episode of Girls Gone Hallmark bingo card show Unreal, for a total of 71 acting credits. Francois, you got it.
Francois Robertson plays Mom Clarice. Francois has 53 total acting credits, which include a handful of Hallmark appearances like Christmas Joy and The Perfect Bride Wedding Bells.
So back to your point, this episode was a rough one for me for several reasons. I felt like it leaned real hard into like Hallmark trope land. Also, I feel like the vibe of this episode does not match the vibe of the next 2 episodes in terms of the way Katie's character is portrayed in some elements.
Okay.
So we start on the dream sequence, a nightmare sequence. And Katie and Kevin are getting married, and Gabby's like the black sheep. She's being like left behind.
She's at the shitty table at the wedding or at the wedding reception, and
every time someone comes in the door, it slams into the back of her chair. She's not invited to be part of the family events. And then, of course, it goes like a little kooky because in their cake cutting moment, Katie slams cake in her face, and then we hear them chanting, "Easy bake, easy bake."
It kind of made me feel bad.
Much about this episode makes me feel bad.
I mean, I felt bad for Gaby, for sure.
Yeah, so Gaby wakes up, and Katie is trying to wake her, and she's like calling her easy bake in that moment.
Yes.
And Gabby's like, "Please don't call me that anymore."
So this is like the first time for me, when I'm watching this, like we get confirmation that Katie is not as nice as she seems.
What I can't figure out throughout this entire episode is Katie clueless?
Katie's an asshole.
You think?
Katie's an asshole, and she is unwell. Yeah, that's what I think.
Well, I don't understand how she doesn't know that she has to know that Easy Bake is a mean nickname.
Absolutely.
Like, she has to know. I mean, spoiler alert, for the end of the episode, she knows the second it happens that it's mean.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my issue with this episode is I find a lot of it kind of unbelievable. Like the way Katie behaves, I don't buy it, I guess. And Gaby doesn't buy it either. Like we've got this split of like mom and dad love Katie because Kevin loves Katie and they're so happy and they're so glad to have her in her family. And Gaby's like, yo, she is not what she seems. I mean, once again, like Gaby's trying to film her cooking audition and she's making breakfast burritos and Katie ordered breakfast burritos for the whole family.
Yeah, this bugged me because it's the second time that it's happened. And the family's just like okay with it. Like the mom and dad are like, oh, but Katie's so nice. So let's disregard what you're doing for us right now and give all the praise to Katie.
I just can't understand the parents in this situation being like, oh, my daughter was cooking a meal. Let me eat this takeout instead.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Oh, I'll pop this in the refrigerator and heat this burrito later. I will eat the homemade burrito that my daughter is making. Of course, we also see more like Manetti Hanahan drama because Manny's like so over Chuck and his bucket lifter next door. And Gaby's like, oh, yeah, we hate the Manetti Hanahans. And Dad's like, no. Like, my beef is with Chuck.
Not the whole family.
Not with Katie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure like growing up, you don't think the whole family got thrown under the bus.
I think they totally got thrown under the bus. I mean, you definitely see that with Chuck, right? Because like later in the episode, like Chuck is not welcoming to Kevin.
Right.
And I'm sure Manny felt the same way. But in this moment, he's like, no, we love Katie. This is just Chuck. And Gaby's like, no, maybe we don't love Katie.
Yeah. Another thing that really kind of pisses me off about this episode is like you're telling me the mom was not aware of like this entire like Easy Bake nickname that Gaby had. It was so traumatic.
Like if someone's mean to my kid, they're on my list for the rest of their lives.
Would burn their house down. Yes.
Like, yeah, I would believe it more if we saw like mom struggling with like, okay, well, my son loves her, but she was mean to my daughter. Like, how do I rectify?
Yeah.
How do I reconcile those
That
two
would have been a better
things?
story.
Instead of just like ignoring everything Gaby says. Like in my mind, they're just like gaslighting her this entire
Totally.
episode. And Gaby does go to her brother because Kevin and Katie are going to play Santa and Mrs. Claus at the stroll. And he's talking about a future with Katie. And Gaby's like trying to influence him. Like she's still a mean girl. And he's like, you're overthinking it. And I'm like, believe her. Believe women.
Yeah. I mean, Gaby's feelings are super valid here. And Kevin's just like, well, give her a chance. Like Kevin was not hearing her. He was not hearing her.
He wasn't hearing her. And like to prove Gaby's point, Katie comes in. Katie's probably heard what Gaby was saying, but she's like, is that what you're wearing?
Again, mean girl. She just like, how is it not obvious? It is so obvious.
Cut to the scene that I'm convinced was meant to be like a horror film.
Tell me more.
They're going to go chop down a tree in the forest.
Yeah. And these are things we are not familiar with. Where we live, you don't go cut down trees.
Well, here either, by the way, because in my notes, I'm like, I'm not actually sure you're allowed to just like show up in a forest and chop things down. But Katie, she's leading with confidence and she's got a chainsaw and Kevin seems to think that's pretty hot. And so Gaby's like, okay, they all go. And Katie, again, she's like, you seem tense. And she tries out some new nicknames on Gaby, like Slowpoke and Gabs. And Gaby's like, knock it off. Like, leave me alone.
I mean, isn't there a part of you, if you were Gaby, wouldn't you be like, stop this BS right now?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I don't like the character of Katie at all. And I was mad at Gaby for not, like, you're a full adult now. Like, I know, like, when you're made fun of as, like, a middle schooler, like, those wounds run deep for a long time. But, like, I needed Gaby to, like, stand up in that moment and just be like, STFU.
Agree. And even Gaby's like, don't you think, like, it's weird us hanging out after our past? And Katie's like, it's just a time of peace and goodwill. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Again, they arrive at the magical Christmas tree forest and they find the perfect tree that is exactly the right size. Of course, Gaby's usually the one to pick the family tree, but, you know, Mom points out, like, usually Gaby picks the perfect tree and Katie kind of lets her, but she's not going to let it end there because as she's cutting down the tree, shocker, it falls on Gaby.
Right.
I was like, that does seem physically impossible based on the direction that they're cutting the tree that it would fall towards Gaby, but you can also see it coming. This like timber moment and more Mean Girl stuff.
Like Katie's filming it now?
Yes.
Yeah, like in her face. Like,
in what world are these people not like, oh, maybe Katie is kind of terrible?
Katie's the worst. I have no empathy for Katie whatsoever.
Me either.
None. Zero. And she comes from that Manetti Hanahan family. Dad's an asshole. Sister's an asshole. They're all terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, there is some redemption in their story, but like...
Yeah, Clark's the only nice Manetti Hanahan.
It's, right? Okay.
So Katie's like, I'll take you to the salon to get all the sap out of your hair. And they're like talking about all going to the salon together. And as they're leaving, Gaby clocks a sign, shocker, that says, logging and cutting strictly prohibited.
Yeah, but that doesn't even play out, right?
Yes.
It does?
You haven't seen the whole series.
Oh, okay.
It plays out in a very silly way, but
great.
they close the loop.
Okay.
This, again, next scene has horror movie vibes at the salon for me.
Katie's absolutely unhinged in this moment.
She's like, I heard you trying to sabotage my relationship. And I'm like, get out, Gaby, get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Katie's like, I'm trying so hard for us to get along, but Gaby keeps getting in the way. And no, you're not trying. I wonder if it's like the product of being from a big family where you just like that family, the Manetti Hanahan family is like so filled with conflict and strife that you don't really know. Like, do they not know how to behave? It's very odd to me. And Katie makes a comment like, I guess being a Manetti Hanahan isn't good enough for a Camarena. And like, is that the vibe here? Like the Camarinas think they're too good? That's not the impression I got.
Nope. That's not
I just got the impression like Manny is super annoyed by Chuck.
Yeah.
Like Chuck annoys him. Like his lights are too bright. His
Chuck's
bucket
not a
lifter.
nice guy.
No, Chuck is not nice. But at this point, we don't really know that so much. We just know that he's like real big on Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that Manny finds Chuck annoying, not so much like beneath
He doesn't.
him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Then it gets real weird. Because Katie says, Kevin and I are going the distance. And you're going to be left alone in the desert?
She's like, basically, like, you need to stand down.
Or I'll murder you?
Yeah, it was weird. In my notes, I wrote, Katie as in, well, this is actually a weird storyline.
She seems sad that Gaby's not on her side, but she makes these weird threats.
Watching this, to me, I was like, this is so not Hallmark, like in the vein of Hallmark. And while I often praise Hallmark for playing outside of the box, like I did not like any of this.
So I will say I've seen the next 2 episodes, and I'm telling you, the way this storyline plays out, it doesn't match the tone of this episode at all. Again, this episode is dark. It has like a horror movie undertones.
Threats?
Yes, it is a very different vibe from the entire rest of the series for me. But Kevin's still team, I'm going to marry Katie, so he goes to Chuck, who's like, GTFO, man, you may not have my blessing, including picking up an axe to scare Kevin away. He does. I actually do think it's kind of funny because he's like, I've served 4 tours, and the second worst experience in my life is you asking for my daughter's hand in marriage. It's like,
awful. And this goes back to Chuck being like a real jerk because like he might have a problem with Manny, but what's his problem with Kevin?
Yeah, exactly.
Other than being the family. And then if you really want to like deep dive into it, is it because they're not white?
I mean, I don't know. Like, what is their beef? Is it just like this long-standing neighbor beef? Because why doesn't Chuck like Manny? Is it just because Manny is always pushing back on like, your lights are too bright and your truck is too loud and all of that?
Yeah, perhaps.
And so, like, does he just not like Manny because Manny doesn't like him?
Maybe.
We see Sheriff Nora, which is nice. Gaby vents to Sheriff Bestie about Katie. But this is another scene where Nora is kind of like, well, maybe she's not that bad. But in this moment, Katie posts those embarrassing photos of Gaby and they go viral.
Viral.
In the way a photo can, only on Hallmark.
Yeah. Oh, Gaby does something with the peppers I have here.
Oh, yeah, but there's a whole thing. Like, Gaby comes home and Clarice and Katie have made the tamales. Like, this is a tradition that Gaby does with her mom, and Katie's taken over.
Mm-hmm.
And Katie's like, I was trying to, like, give you a social media presence by posting that photo. Like, it's a hit. Come on. So this is when Gaby decides, I'm going to make this. I thought she was going to make the salsa extra spicy, but instead she just hides like a super hot pepper in Katie's tamale.
Yeah, I guess. It wasn't like super clear. She did something.
I mean, you see in the scene, like the pepper is like sticking out of the tamale. So like Kevin,
How does Katie get that actual plate?
that's a great question, because Kevin proposes and Katie has taken a bite of this tamale and is basically like sobbing through the pain of the pepper. He is like assuming she's just like overcome with emotion as she's like sweating and crying and fanning herself. And this the parents get mad at.
Yeah, this doesn't make sense to me. Okay, not a cool move on Gabby's part, but her parents don't get mad at Katie for anything.
No, she's reached her breaking point.
Yeah.
We finally see the origin story of the Easy Bake nickname. And what I think is interesting is like you see Katie call Gaby Easy Bake, and then you see all the other kids pick up on it, and young Katie seems to realize the error of her decision when like this funny throwaway mean girl comment was picked up and is now going to be the thing that's going to fall. Like she seems to regret it.
Right.
But she never does anything about it. Like she participates.
And continues to
Into
call her
adulthood.
that.
Yeah. Gaby shows this video to the sheriff and she was like, it is pretty damning. And Gabby's like, yeah, I'm showing Kevin. And Nora's like, whoa. I don't know. Now, what would you do here? Are you just like so frustrated? You're like, yeah, I'm going to show the video.
I would show the video to my brother. I'd be like, look, I know you love this woman, but she was a real jerk to me. Like it's okay to share those feelings with your brother. Like if she's truly not trying to convince Kevin, like, oh, you can't marry this woman, I just would be like, well, this is who she was when she was a teenager. And this is why I feel the way I feel about her, because she made my life terrible.
Yeah. And Sheriff Bestie wants Gaby to talk to Katie about what happened. And I'm like, have they never done that? Apparently not.
I guess not.
Kevin is mad at Gaby at home. He's ignoring her. But Gaby goes to Katie and she's like, we're going to talk this out. And Gaby explains like why she carries so much resentment, and Katie apologizes, and then she's like, are you gonna apologize to me?
But you owe me an apology too.
Now, in my opinion, these women both have wronged each other, but
Barely. But Gaby has barely wronged Katie here.
yeah, what Gaby did was found a new friend group and Katie was left behind. To me, it does not feel like an intentional slight. Like your friends change, your life changes and you become friends with different people. Was Katie left behind? Is that hurtful? Yes. Were the intentions very different here? Yes.
Yeah, the intention is because Gaby didn't treat Katie cruelly.
Yeah.
Katie treated Gaby cruelly for years.
Yeah.
And and Katie in her mind is like, oh, you left me because you see that I wasn't one of your smart friends or whatever. Just bullshit. It's such a bullshit storyline. It enrages me actually.
Well, Gabby's like, are you telling me that we're both mean girls? And I'm like, no.
Yeah. I was like, no. Yeah. I was so mad watching this.
They connect. They look at Katie's vision board. She asks Gaby to design the wedding
why is she
cake.
making a vision board in their house? She does not live at that house.
They've been engaged for like 8 hours.
I hated all of this. Yes, because that's Gabby's room.
But just as Katie and Gaby have reconciled, now the family have seen the video and they have all turned on Katie. Mom, Dad, and Kevin. Gaby does try to smooth things over now.
This family does not want to listen to Gaby. No. They want to hear one word out of her for this way or the other way. I would be frustrated if I was Gaby. I would be pissed at like my mom, my dad, and my brother for like not listening to me.
They don't listen to Gaby ever, no matter what she's saying. So they basically shun her. Katie leaves in tears, says she's not that person anymore.
But she is, though. She is that person still.
Yes, she has shown herself to be that person over and over again in this episode.
Yeah, so she's full of shit to be like, oh, I'm not that person anymore.
Because I don't know, like, the way it's written, maybe we're supposed to read it as her being helpful. I do not read any of it as her being helpful.
I agree.
I read it as her being underhanded and mean.
Uh-huh. Me too.
And particularly when she says, like, do you have something to apologize to me for, to Gaby? Like, she's harboring resentment against Gaby as well.
Mm-hmm.
Gaby wants to stay home and get her audition tape done. And Mom's like, nope, you got to come to the stroll to support Santa Kevin. And I was like, why? Why does your adult son need his sister to be there.
He doesn't. He chose to sign up for this nonsense, and his adult sister, who has like a work opportunity on the line, does not need to go and see her
Freaking
brother.
Christmas Eve. Let her get her job done. And
So
mom's
dumb.
like, don't worry, we'll be home in time, but we know that a blackout is coming. And no, she won't.
I also have in my notes, Kevin as Santa is dumb. He's like this young kid.
Yeah.
Why are you dressed up as Santa? Get out of here.
True. Excellent point. As they're leaving, we see Holland Roden up in the window, a hand to the window, and a single tear rolls down her cheek.
Mm-hmm.
The music is very melancholy, and Kevin is the saddest Santa ever.
But then in a full 180, Katie shows up dressed as Mrs. Claus at the stroll.
Yeah, she's like wild-eyed and returns the
Yes.
ring.
Like 2 minutes earlier, she's like sad and melancholy looking out the window. Oh my God, there goes my what would have been my future husband. And
There's
then
more backstory to this.
I
scene
know
coming.
there is. It still doesn't make sense to me after seeing that other episode.
Oh,
Look,
yeah, that's right. You saw it. Yeah, it's weird.
like, how do you go from she is unwell.
Oh, and hijinks ensue.
Mr. Chuck like jumps Kevin. There's like a weird altercation. That's what I wrote. There's a weird altercation.
There is a weird altercation involving Santa and a snowman and Chuck Minity Hanahan, and security just like looks on like
You can't just let some dude attack Santa.
the children are going to be traumatized. It is now raining as they return home. And Gabby's like, why does the house feel empty? And they're like, all of Katie's presents that are for her and from her are gone.
Like, when did that happen?
Yeah. Did Katie take them with her when she left?
It doesn't make any sense.
Gabby tries this. I also hate this scene because Gabby's like, let's have a nice family moment. Like, it's Christmas Eve. Let's have a nice drink. Let's hang out. And they're like, peace, I'm tired.
They're like, it's done. This day. It's been too long. It's too much. Which I can understand at some point. But like, Gabby is trying to like rally the family just to have like a nice Christmas moment.
Finally, the four of them together.
Like, I feel like this family hates Gabby. And there's no reason to.
Oh, they go to bed. Gabby's about to start filming her audition video. And you know what happens?
She's taking shots. I'll tell you that much.
Yes. She's too emotional to film the video. And before she can get it done, boom, the power goes out. The end.
Does this get wrapped up in the last episode too?
Her audition video?
Yeah.
Yes, in actually a very nice way.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. If you love this podcast, we love your 5-star ratings and reviews. Please open up the Apple Podcast app and let everybody know why you love our podcast. And we'll be back tomorrow with episode 7. Bye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.